From a BOGO deal you won't want to miss to a special needs pup who's captured all of our hearts, there are so many ways you can help the homeless pets of the Arizona Humane Society. We're going to tell you all about that and so much more right here on Pets on Parade. Good morning and welcome to Pets on Parade, brought to you by 3TV. I'm Kelsey Dickerson with the Arizona Humane Society. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this Saturday. Now, before we officially start today's show, we just want to say that our hearts are with Maui Humane Society and all of those affected by the devastating Lahaina fires. Earlier this week, 5 members of AHS's emergency response team were called upon by Bissell Pet Foundation's Animal Incident Management and deployed to help with search and rescue efforts, as well as any other ways we might be able to help people and pets in need. For updates on our team, make sure to visit azhumane.org/blog, and for ways to keep your furry friends safe during an emergency, make sure to visit azhumane.org/disaster. And whether you love mythology or are a fan of Shakespeare, you may recognize who this little one is named after. Linda, please tell us all about Caliban.
Caliban, yes, this is a dark, very handsome stranger here. He is 9 weeks old. He came to us with his litter mates, and he went through the bottle baby ICU, and then he went to foster care, and now he's here with us today. And this week, Arizona Humane Society is having a BOGO event, and I thought, what is a BOGO event, Perry? Perry said, buy one, get one. So if you adopt one cat or kitten, you get the other one for free. So there's nothing better than having two. They keep each other company, they socialize with each other. It's just so much better to have 2 handfuls instead of 1. This is Caliban.
Absolutely. We are launching that to be able to help us with our extreme overcapacity issues. And like you mentioned, 2 kittens help keep each other company. Thank you so much for that, Linda. And we're not sure of our next pup's surfing skills, but she sure does know how to rock that fin, I think, Lisa.
She does. This is 8-year-old Gidget, and we didn't do this, our groomer didn't do this, that's au naturel. She has a little stegosaurus back, goes all the way from her head, all the way down her back. She is the cutest little thing. Like I said, she is 8 years old, and Gidget's 10 pounds, probably maybe a mix of long-haired dachshund and Chihuahua maybe. She is a cute little lap dog, and she is part of a large-scale intake. Sometimes you'll see in our records, if you adopt from us, LSI stands for large-scale intake. Often these are people that love animals, are trying to help, they find strays, and rather than getting them to a shelter, they take them in and they aren't spayed and neutered. Well, we all know what happens then if you don't spay and neuter, how quickly they can multiply. Cats can have 3 litters a year, dogs can have 2 litters a year, and when each litter contains somewhere between 4 and 10 puppies or kittens, I don't need to help you do that math, but we end up with a lot of puppies and kittens. Of our 80 large-scale intakes this year, 1,700 animals came into our shelter of the 80 homes that we went to. So these people do have good intentions, but I cannot stress enough the importance of spay and neuter, especially in these types of situations. It improves lots of behaviors and marking, and it makes dogs a little bit calmer. So if you need help with spay and neuter, there are lots of low-cost solutions, or contact our Pet Resource Center. If you need assistance, we will get you in touch with one of our low-cost spay and neuter partners. Please don't add to the problem. Maricopa County and all of Arizona have a lot of animals right now. So please have your pets spayed and neutered so we don't end up with more pet overpopulation.
Absolutely, and going back to that LSI stat, it's actually a 67% increase from the number of cases that we've taken in the same time frame of last year. So it's absolutely incredible, and it is so important to spay and neuter. Thank you so much for that reminder, Lisa. And we want to give a possum update. Nearly 300 pets found loving homes last weekend during our adoption special Blitz. While we're celebrating this big success, more pets are coming through our doors every day. These are just a few of the pets who are now looking for a home. In addition to the pets on today's show, all of these cuties are ready for homes of their own. All adoptable pets have already been spayed, neutered, microchipped, and are up to date on their vaccines. Adoptions are available at our South Mountain campus as well as our PetSmart Scottsdale location. You can see all of our adoptable pets at azhumane.org/adopt. And speaking of adoptables, we have another beautiful kitty looking for their forever home. Who is this, Perry?
This is a 9-week-old beautiful little black kitty named Delaney. She came in with her litter mates, over-the-counter strays, and as typical, went to bottle baby ICU, and then we found that she was a little bit underweight and had some tummy issues, so we found a foster hero home for her. She went off to that foster hero home and got big and strong, and look at her now. She's a jungle gym little kitty. She wants to wrestle, she wants to climb. She did really, really well in that place, so thanks to that foster hero who did a great job. You know, we get a lot of people asking, where do you get these cool little logo? Can I get those kind of items anywhere? Yes, you can. We have our own little online store, and online shopping is so popular right now. It's very convenient. You see a cap right there with the logo on it. We have little paperweights. We've got windshield covers. We've got T-shirts. We've got all kind of little items that are branded. They are very, very cool, and you can go online and shop for them. All the proceeds go right back to the pets. And as a little added bonus, when you adopt from the Arizona Humane Society, you get a 20% discount in that store. Check it out. There might be some great items for you, and there might be some great gift items for other people. So go to azhumane.org/petite.
Absolutely. Who doesn't want to rock an AHS logo while helping AHS's pets? I love that. Thank you, Perry. And who also doesn't love a BFF duo, especially ones this cute? Pina and Uva definitely belong together. What do you ladies think?
Oh my goodness. Pina and Uva have been doing great in the studio. They came into us because the owner was feeling overwhelmed and just could not handle having puppies in the house anymore, which is a really sad situation. But these girls are so super sweet and so ready for their final home. It's really funny. Pina has been really protective of her sister. And I think the camera's kind of scaring her here, but she has been checking on her sister constantly while we've been in the studio. See? She really loves her sister. And they're BFFs, which means best buddies. That system is really great because you'll adopt both of them together. So for one fee, you'll adopt both of them, and they get to stay together and keep an eye on each other. And that would just make Pina so happy because she just keeps an eye on her sister so well. They are just absolutely lovely, and I think you should come in and adopt both of them.
Absolutely. When we have best buddies like this, you get a 2-for-1 adoption and twice the amount of love. Thank you so much for that, ladies. And make sure to stay tuned right here to Pets on Parade. We'll introduce you to a very special girl who needs a special home and is showing you her best side right now. Learn more about adorable Thelma and her story when we come back from the break. Welcome back to the show. Now, the Arizona Humane Society is no stranger to helping pets in need throughout our community. And joining us today is a very special pup who is hoping that you'll fall in love with her just as much as we all have. And joining me to talk about her is Dr. Melissa Thompson, AHS's Vice President of Medical Operations. Dr. T, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Now, before we get too deep into Thelma's story real quick, for anyone who's maybe not familiar, can you tell us a little bit about your role and what got you started with the Arizona Humane Society?
Sure, absolutely. So I've been with AHS. You're making me have to do some math. So I've been with AHS for about 12 years. I actually started off, I did a couple of volunteer vet shifts in Second Chance, and you could say I was hooked. So I have been with the organization since 2011. I've worked in Second Chance Animal Trauma Hospital. I then became lead vet of the trauma hospital and eventually moved into the VP role.
Absolutely incredible, and you have definitely touched the lives of so many homeless pets, you and your team, definitely, including this little girl, Thelma.
Yes.
She has had quite the journey.
Yes, she has. Thelma, so just to give us a little history, so our mobile team goes out to the reservations in Arizona. So we do a lot of work out in the San Carlos Reservation. And back in February, we were in a city called Bilas in San Carlos, and we were doing an event. It was primarily wellness and sick pet care. And Thelma was actually a stray dog, and one of the folks in the community asked us if we could take her back with us to Phoenix. They had noted that she just wasn't well. And so they brought her to our event, and sure enough, this poor girl, she was just skin and bones. And her eyes were very painful. They were bulging out of her little head, and she couldn't see. And so we said, absolutely, we can't leave this poor girl behind. Yes. So we brought her back to Phoenix. When we brought her home, we found out that she had tick fever, which was probably the cause of the damage to her eyes. And so then we put her on medications to treat the tick fever, because tick fever can cause excessive bleeding in dogs. And so we didn't want to do surgery and then potentially have a complication. So we treated her for about a month for tick fever, and then she was scheduled and had her enucleation to remove those eyes and to remove that pain. In that time, we also discovered that she had TVT. So for those that aren't familiar, that stands for transmissible venereal tumor. So it's a contagious tumor. It's found in populations of dogs that are stray and just kind of running around and hanging out with each other, if you know what I mean. This is a kid's show. So we had to treat her for that as well, and that involved her receiving chemotherapy to actually make that tumor go away. So she had treatments, and so that was another 6 weeks on top of her treatment. So she's had a long road to recovery.
Absolutely.
But as you can see, she's a very sweet girl, and this has been her demeanor from day one. You would never have known that she was sick. I've had her this whole time, and I've never heard her make a sound. No bark, no growl. I mean, she is just like the perfect house guest. And yeah, just a great dog.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I think the only sound that we have is her rustling through the snacks here at the studio and making that smacking noise when she finds them. Absolutely incredible. Dr. T, you mentioned our outreach efforts, especially for different reservations and communities throughout Arizona. A big part of why we're able to do that is thanks to the Banfield Foundation. Can you give a little bit deeper of an overview of what that means?
Yes, absolutely. So the Banfield Foundation was amazing and gifted us our mobile unit back in 2019. It was just before COVID. And with that unit, we've been able to go out to the reservations to provide free veterinary care to the people in those areas, to the pets that they have. And so they continue to fund our work out in those reservations. So we have been partnering with San Carlos now for, my goodness, I think it was towards the very end of 2020. I lose track of time. So it's been a few years. We also do work with Salt River, and just recently we did a trip up to the Hopi Reservation. Wow. So it's just really amazing to be able to go out into these communities and see the people of the communities and start working with them and helping them get wellness care for their pets. And it's really cool because we've been going now for a while, and so they're coming back for their boosters. So they're learning about the pet care and trying to do right for their pets. And it's also great because we see so many sick pets, but we're able to educate the folks and get them started on medications and able to treat those animals and keep them in their homes. So it's such amazing work, and the teams that go out and do it just absolutely love it.
It's absolutely incredible, and we were talking before we started taping about how hard it can be even for, our own community to be able to get into the veterinarian. But if you can imagine, when it's hours drives to go to the vet, it's truly life-saving for us to be able to go out there.
Absolutely.
And before we leave, we want to learn a little bit more about Thelma. For anyone who is considering adopting this sweet girl, she is available for adoption, even though she's staying with you right now. What do you think that her perfect forever home would look like, and what do you think she'll need?
So for Thelma, she's pretty low-key. Like I said, she's a perfect house guest. I think the big thing that we have to remember is that she is blind. So even though she walks into a new environment and seems to navigate really well, the things we would really be worried about are areas that have stairs. So two-story might be a little bit difficult unless we had some baby gates to block it off. We'd also be worried about yards with pools unless they had pool fencing. So just things that we want to make sure that she couldn't injure herself or get into some troubles. She has been around other dogs. She's seemed to get along with with them just fine. I don't know about cats, but I'm guessing that cats would have a pretty fair advantage because they can jump up and get away and she wouldn't be able to follow them. But no guarantees on that. She's pretty resourceful. She loves Treatos, as everybody here in the studio can see. She actually found her way into a large gift bag today and was pulling treats out. So she's just a love. She likes to be pet. She loves to go outside. So just an all-around, I think, perfect dog. I wish I could keep her, but there are limits on how many you can have in your home, right?
Absolutely. We don't want to send our field team out to your house, Dr.
No.
T. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And you have seen the number to be able to adopt her. Make sure to call 602-997-7585, extension 1145 if you've fallen in love with this girl just like we all have. Dr. T, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And make sure to stay tuned. We have more puppy and kitty cuteness coming up after the break. But first, one last look at Thelma. Thanks for tuning back into Pets on Parade. Now, we just met an incredible pet who benefit from foster for quite a while, and now it's time for Carrie to introduce us to a few other pets who are also in need of a temporary home. Right, Carrie?
That's right, Miss Kelsey. These two little cuties just also arrived from the reservation today, and they came with 11 of their brothers and sisters. These little ones had nowhere else to turn when AHS got a phone call to see if we were able to help out. And of course we said yes. Oh, are you so excited to be on TV, little one? These puppies are about 6 weeks old, and I've already signed Perry Fonzo up for 3 of them. So we still have 10 left that need foster homes today. So these kiddos will need about 2 weeks of foster care to gain some weight and be of age so that they can get spayed and neutered. And then they'll be ready to go up for adoption. So of course we provide all the food and supplies and everything that you need to take care of these little ones. When these puppies are coming from our reservation partners, we love to tell foster heroes that they might have a little GI upset. They haven't had the most stable food sources, and so while we get them acclimated to our Hill Science diet brand that we use at AHS, they go through a little bit of transition. We get them all on some good preventative tummy measures, but this is just a whole bundle of joy that you'll have in your house, ready for hugs, kisses, snuggles, playtime. Again, I'm sure they might find your flip-flop if you leave them out, but it's well worth it to get all of these love and snuggles. Kelsey, puppy breast the best.
Oh my goodness. And you have the first right of refusal for adoption. So, best of both worlds. Oh, they're so cute. Thank you so much for that, Carrie. And our next guest is absolutely gorgeous. It almost reminds me of a calico kitty, but in bunny form, Denise.
Yes, this is Minnie, and she's 7 months old, and actually she does have calico cat colors, so she's very, very pretty. She came to the Arizona Humane Society as a stray, and she spent some time in a foster home for her quarantine and to gain a little bit of weight. But now she's here looking for her forever home. The Arizona Humane Society is offering a BOGO program for critters as well. So that's buy one, get one. But I kind of wish we called it AGO, which would be adopt one, get one. So if you are in the market for 2 bunnies or 2 guinea pigs, visit our website at azhumane.org/adopt to see who's available. Critters are great pets, and many of them do great in pairs. Like Minnie here may enjoy another female bunny as her little bunny BFF, as she is your BFF. So come on down, get 7-month-old Minnie, and maybe a friend for her too.
Absolutely, and who knows, maybe you want to mix and match a bunny with a guinea pig, a rat, and a mouse? I don't know. Go crazy with your imagination. Thank you so much for that, Denise. And we just want to take a moment to say how much our partners absolutely rock. We could not save the lives of the Valley's most vulnerable pets without the support of our community and partners. Our friends at 98 KUPD and the Holmberg's Morning Sickness Crew are some of our most passionate pet-loving partners who deserve lots of the applause. For several years now, they've teamed up with Four Peaks Brewing Company to create a delicious brew in celebration of our furry friends, with a portion of the proceeds benefiting our homeless pets. The recent Cha-Ching Chavez beer release party and fundraiser was an absolute blast. We're so thankful to everyone who supports our furry friends in all of the different ways. And our next pet is keeping with the food theme. Please tell us about Olive, Linda.
Hi, this is Olive. She's 1 year old. You met her sister Gidget earlier in the show. Lisa was present her. And she came in with her owner surrender because they had way too many pets. So we're finding lately a lot of lost stray, sorry, look at the face in the camera. A lot of stray and lost pets lately. And so if you do find that you've lost your pet, you can go to our website, and on our website we have resources about where you can go and where you can post posters and advertisements for your pet. We also recommend that you look up the Maricopa County Animal Care and Control. They have a map that you can follow on your screen at your computer, and you can try to track your pet that way. So once again, we also emphasize microchipping is so important. Collar with a name tag, just something with a marking, maybe even a black marker on a collar, something with identification. Once again, if you do lose your pet, go to azhumane.org/lostpet, and this is Olive.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, the chip is the best way to get your pets back into their loving homes. Thank you so much for that reminder, Linda. And we absolutely love our kitten friends here on POP, and I'm sure any Bruins fans are sure to love this kiddo even more than usual. Right, Bree?
He is raring to go. He is actually the litter mate to the other kittens you're seeing on the show today, and he is so sweet. He was part of our Bottle Baby ICU program, so he's a graduate. He's big enough now to be adopted, and he is nice and healthy and happy. He is still very much a kitten, and some kitten tips that I would recommend are making sure that they get used to being handled. A really good one that I know I've learned from having cats is to make sure you play with their paws so they get used to being their nails trimmed. That's always a really good one that I like. Making sure that they're socialized. Never use your hand as a toy. Always have like a kicker involved or maybe another toy ready to kind of move in. So they're not playing with your hand, they're playing with a toy. Always make sure you've got lots of scratchers around the house. And when they're kittens, they don't know what scratchers they like. So having a variety, the rope kind, the cardboard kind, you can try all the ones until they find the ones they really like, and then you'll know going forward. So always having those available for them so they get ready for being a happy and healthy adult cat in your household. But come down and meet Brew, and he is just an investigative little kitten that is checking out this entire studio today.
Yes, all of this litter have definitely been curious kitties. Thank you so much for those great tips, Bree. And make sure to keep that channel locked right here into Pets on Parade. We have more puppy cuteness who also love snacks waiting for you after the break. Welcome back to the show. Now, not only do we have an adorable pup, but we also have a huge milestone that we're celebrating, Perry. Please tell us all about that.
Right, Kelsey. Talk about that in a second. This little guy right here is Gizmo. He is a 7-month-old male, and he is an abandonment case. He came in with 3 other dogs on the property, abandoned. Our field team brought him in. He is, I'll just tell you, working with him, he's a little bit nervous, but he is really, really looking for somebody to bond with. He has just really, really warmed up to me. He really, really just wants to be a part of a family right now. As most strays came in, he had some skin conditions, so we had to give him a nice oatmeal bath and get those little heel scars that he had and scabbings fixed, get him on some good food, and he's ready to go right now. Yeah, you mentioned our milestone. In 2019, we started a Donate Your Automobile type program, and since then it has raised $2 million. Lots of organizations have Donate Your Vehicle programs, but I'll tell you something a little bit different about the Arizona Humane Society one. We don't work with auction houses. We actually sell directly. So as a benefit, all the proceeds go right back to the Humane Society, and it's a full benefit. And for you, that means you're even going to get more tax money back because of a donation. So consider doing it. Go to azhumane.org, Wheels for Wags.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic program that has raised so much money. Thank you for that, Perry. And Lisa, you have the honor of having the last cutie of the show. Please tell us about this little kitty.
Well, she put her formals on. She put her tuxedo on to be the last kitty. So this is Sierra. See, she is 9 weeks old and purring up a storm here. But you hear all about kitties and cat space. Our new campus, the BOGO campus, has got 25% more space for kitties. And so there's going to be more cat space. It's going to be increased for our trauma center. It's at about the 202 and Van Buren. And there's all kinds of great videos that we've put out. But if you're interested in our new location, please go to azhumane.org/new, and you'll be able to see some videos on there on the new campus and all of the neat areas we've got. So check it out. It's going to be great when it opens, probably in November of this year.
Absolutely, it's been a long time coming, and none of this could happen without the support of everyone out there, including the lives that we save each and every day. So thank you so much for not only your support, but for tuning in. We'll see you right here next week for Pets on Parade.